Chapter 18, Commute and Driving After Stroke, Journey Towards Independence. The privilege of driving is frequently synonymous with independence. It's a marker of autonomy and, for many, a critical part of their self-identity. Therefore, the prospect of driving post-stroke can elicit a mix of hope and anxiety. While the urge to reclaim control and freedom is potent, safety must always be the priority. This chapter seeks to examine the factors and steps associated with resuming driving after a stroke and how to procure a disability car tag. Reassessing your ability to drive. After experiencing a stroke, a critical first step before resuming driving is evaluating your driving ability. The residual impact of a stroke, such as impaired vision, motor control, and cognitive abilities, can profoundly affect your driving skills. It's crucial never to attempt driving until you're medically authorized to do so. A thorough assessment usually entails two primary stages: clinical evaluations and on-road assessments. Clinical evaluations. These are performed by a healthcare professional, often an occupational therapist specializing in driver rehabilitation. These evaluations scrutinize the physical, cognitive, and perceptual skills necessary for driving. They may incorporate tests for visual acuity, reaction time, memory, attention, hand-eye coordination, and ability to follow instructions. On-road assessments. Once you've satisfactorily completed the clinical evaluations, the next step is an on-road assessment. This test is usually executed in a controlled environment by a professional driving instructor with training in driver rehabilitation. This practical evaluation examines your capability to apply your cognitive, motor, and perceptual skills in a real-world driving scenario. Regaining your driving license. The procedure for reclaiming your driving license post-stroke can differ based on local regulations and stipulations. However, generally, after receiving medical clearance to drive, you may need to disclose your medical condition to the local driving authority. Being honest about your medical history and current health status is critical. In some jurisdictions, failing to report a medical condition that can impact driving can lead to fines or legal ramifications. Once the local driving authority is informed about your situation, they may issue a temporary permit for the on-road assessment. Upon successfully passing the on-road test, the driving authority typically provides a medical report form that your healthcare provider must complete. If your provider deems you fit to drive, this form can be submitted to the driving authority, who will then decide on reinstating your driving license. Bear in mind that you may not immediately receive a full, unrestricted license. Depending on your assessment, you might be granted a license with limitations, such as driving only during daylight hours or within a specified radius from your home. These restrictions can be reviewed and potentially lifted as you continue to progress in your recovery. Applying for a disability car tag. A disability car tag, often known as a handicap placard or permit, enables individuals with disabilities to utilize designated parking spots, typically closer to building entrances. This can be incredibly beneficial if your mobility is restricted post-stroke. The process of applying for a disability car tag generally involves the following steps. 1. Obtain the application. This is usually downloadable from the website of your local Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, or an equivalent organization. 2. Complete the application. Fill out the required personal information. The application typically necessitates a medical certification section, to be completed by a licensed healthcare professional. They will verify your condition and affirm your need for the placard. 3. Submit the application. Once completed, submit the application to the DMV, either in person, via mail, or, in some instances, online. There might be a small fee involved. 4. Receive your placard. If your application is approved, you will receive your disability car tag. Be sure to follow the usage instructions carefully, as misuse can lead to fines or placard revocation. Resuming driving after a stroke marks a significant milestone in the recovery journey. While the path might seem intimidating, remember that it's not a race. Take the time you need, seek professional guidance, and always prioritize safety above all. With patience, tenacity, and the right support, reclaiming your independence is entirely within your reach.